Hi everyone, this is Professor Y. Welcome to my Feng Shui story video. How to use Feng Shui to make me rich and happy? Well, what most people do is to use Feng Shui tips. And you may already got many of them, such as water fountain can bring money, or indoor plants can bring fortune and health, or decor the house with some Feng Shui knot to bring good luck. As you can see, most of them sound very achievable. All you need is a water fountain, or a basket of plants, or a special Feng Shui knot. At the beginning, you may think Feng Shui sounds like a very good deal, but very soon, you will find out there's one problem. Those tips simply do not work. Or an even bigger problem, you're not sure whether those Feng Shui tips are working or not. A typical case would be after you heard the indoor plants tip, you bought a pot of wine, as with hopes and best wishes, you placed it on top of your beautiful fireplace. At the beginning, you took care of it with all your heart, but soon your Feng Shui fever faded. Why? Because you hardly noticed any effect. Year passed, you didn't get richer, nor get poorer. You almost forgot you bought the wine for Feng Shui, until one day, you got tired of it. You dumped it, and concluded Feng Shui is fake. Hope this is not your experience, but I know it is the experience for many people. So is Feng Shui fake? Or Feng Shui only have some ambiguous effect? Well, let's first see how the experts say. One of such experts named Duan Muci, a Feng Shui master in China about 2,500 years ago. He is one of the 10 elite students of Confucius, and the richest businessman in China at his time. He reported his Feng Shui had above 70% accuracy. The Feng Shui master Guo Pu, who lived in Jin Dynasty in about 1,500 years ago, widely regarded as the definer of Feng Shui, reported that his Feng Shui was accurate in 90% cases. And about 1,000 years ago, Yang Gong, the royal mentor in Tang Dynasty, reported in his book that Feng Shui is about 80% to 90% accurate on predicting family's luck and the future. And about 400 years ago, Jiang Dahong in early Qing Dynasty, who was regarded as the Feng Shui almighty in his time, reported Feng Shui's accuracy about 80%. My personal experience is that Feng Shui is accurate and has predictable results in 80% of cases. And the Feng Shui experts I met typically report Feng Shui's accuracy ranging from 70% to 95%. Feng Shui certainly has effect, and if you apply it correctly, you can start to see its effect within weeks, and the effect could last for years. However, it will be difficult to study Feng Shui's effect scientifically, since it is tough to find an experimental environment for Feng Shui where you can only change one variable. But non-scientific does not mean it is useless, and many of such non-scientific knowledge have been widely used, such as economics and psychology. Feng Shui's real effects are widely documented and reported. Learning some Feng Shui probably can give you better return than learning stock trading techniques, if you compare the prediction accuracy of these two. So now the question is, why your Feng Shui tips not working? Well, one obvious reason could be the Feng Shui tips you got are simply wrong. And people have all kinds of reasons to give you incorrect or inaccurate Feng Shui tips. A typical reason is to sell you their Feng Shui products. I saw a bunch of websites describe how faceted crystals could improve your Feng Shui and bring love, luck, and money. And it is also quite common that Feng Shui practitioners recommend expensive Feng Shui ornaments, such as Viking coin or statues of god beast. I don't want to say those websites or practitioners are cheating you, but they very likely exaggerate the effect of Feng Shui ornaments. Feng Shui is all about the environmental impact. Based on your common sense, can adding a tiny ornament change your whole environment? The answer is very likely to be no. I can assure you that in most cases, the Feng Shui tips you know won't work. And to get a good Feng Shui, you don't really need to buy any special Feng Shui ornaments. You may immediately be confused. Most of my Feng Shui knowledge is about Feng Shui tips and Feng Shui ornaments. Now you are telling me they are useless? Then how did people come up with those tips and invent Feng Shui ornaments anyway? If you have those questions, congratulations, you will have much higher chance to enjoy the benefits of Feng Shui. Because one major reason that people couldn't use Feng Shui correctly is they don't ask why. Through all my years, I found that majority of people have a misunderstanding about Feng Shui, is that Feng Shui is an art and cannot be explained clearly. What Feng Shui master say is what you do, and you don't ask why. The reality is the exact opposite. Feng Shui, as a knowledge keeps attracting top intelligence for thousands of years, is definitely intelligible and could be understood. For all the Feng Shui tips, if you are curious enough and keep asking why, you will find that they are all derived from Feng Shui's fundamental principles through very strict logic. Then you will find out that tips like 5 king coin will bring you fortune is an oversimplified Feng Shui conclusion based on lots of unset preconditions. And using those tips like that is simply as looking for presents in your Christmas stocking on a non-Christmas day. As you can see, without knowing why you could find presents in your Christmas stockings, you won't be able to find a gift there in most cases. I know it sounds hand-waving. Let me give you an example and you will get the point right away. In 2016, one of my friends invited me to check out his house's Feng Shui. I paid a visit to his house. Nothing wrong particularly. The only thing I didn't like is that the small bathroom in his master bedroom is sitting along the western side of the house. I checked the bathroom and found that the toilet was running. I asked my friend, when did this happen? He said, it happened about 1 year ago. Since it was not serious, he didn't bother to fix it. I asked him whether he had some financial loss in this year. He said yes. Surprisingly, told me that he just collected a 6-digit loss in his stock account. I told him that he got to fix the running toilet as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would have bigger loss in 2017. He asked me how did I know? How did I know? Well, it was quite obvious in Feng Shui in this case. I mainly use the 5-element Feng Shui theory. As you may know, Feng Shui views the world in 5 different status: metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. We don't have time to explain it clearly in this video. All you need to know right now is that Feng Shui categorizes everything into 5 different status. For example, kitchen belongs to fire, bathroom belongs to water. Even directions have status, such as north belong to water, west belong to metal. And we know that the 5 elements generate and restrain each other, such as wood generates fire, earth restrains water. And using the interpromotion and interrestraint relationship, we can make judgment on the environment. So let's come back to look at my friend's house. The bathroom is sitting along the western side. The element for west is metal, stands for fortune accidentally, while bathroom indicates strong water element. Metal generates water. In other words, the water element of the bathroom consumes the metal elements in west direction, making it weaker, and thus hurt the fortune of the family. If that is not the worst, the running toilet, which indicated stronger water element, further exhausted the western metal, resulting in his big loss on stock market. Why did I say 2017 would be worse? Because in recent 12 years, the western metal Feng Shui is most active in 2016 to 2018, which peaks in 2017. So that if something bad is happening on him, the worst would be in 2017. As you can see, Feng Shui analysis involves directions, feature of the environments, and even specific time period. For this case, we were even not considering many surrounding elements such as roads, plants, or lakes near the house. But still, through it, you can see why tips like hang a 5 king coin in your bedroom will bring you fortune are totally useless. So what kind of tips a real Feng Shui expert will give? Obviously, it should first based on your specific case, as there are no 2 houses have the exact same environment, even they sit side by side. Second, it needs to solve your real problem, and the solution does not necessarily seem mysterious. For my friend's case, the very first suggestion I gave was simply to fix the running toilet. Basically, stop bleeding first. Guess what is my next suggestion? Be conservative on investment and spending in the coming 2 years. Now sounds so fascinating. You may need to understand, Feng Shui is to help people to choose a beneficial environment, or better adapting existing environment, or sometimes use some leverage to guide the environment to our favor. Feng Shui is not about significantly changing the environment, which probably are the jobs of technology. Since my friends already live in this house, and there's no way we can move the bathroom to another location, the negative Feng Shui effect is there. No escape. So be cautious on money in the high-risk years would be an honest Feng Shui advice. Of course, he truly can totally avoid it by remodeling the house, or even move to another house. But that won't be practical. And you probably have some ideas why in the long history of Feng Shui, most Feng Shui practitioners only work for royal families and rich people. The reason is not simply that rich people can pay them higher fee. So how about Feng Shui ornaments? Can they do any help here? Actually, they could. For my friend's case, it is the water elements due to the bathroom weaken the metal elements in western direction, which stands for fortune. So how about we add some metal ornaments to help the west metal? You could. Actually, the 5 king coin and the crystal balls are typical ornaments to add metal element. Now you probably understand why they are so popular in Feng Shui tips. And you also understand why those tips are no use, since adding metal elements does not necessarily mean bring fortune, because where and when to use them really matter. In our case, adding metal only have very minor effect, since it will still be weakened by the bathroom water. What I chose was to add some earth element, since earth will prohibit water and at the same time promote metal, function as a bridge to redistribute the Feng Shui energy a little bit. To achieve that, do I have to get an earth element, such as rockery decoration, and put it in the bathroom? Not really. It will look very strange and awkward by doing that. All I do is to simply suggest my friends to use a rockery doormat for the bathroom and use brown colored towels, which fit perfectly for the environment while still achieve what I want. My friends followed my suggestions. He did much better in 2017 and 2018 financially. Okay, to summarize this video, we've talked about major reasons why your Feng Shui didn't work, and we used a real-life example to explain it. We now understand that Feng Shui advice should be based on the specific environment and time period, and general solutions as Feng Shui tips need lots of preconditions to work. Now, question is, how do we know the preconditions and understand the logic behind the different tips, so that we can really implement them correctly and enjoy the benefit of Feng Shui? As you can see from our example, there's no quick answers, since Feng Shui is a pretty complex system with many interacting factors. The good news is Feng Shui masters in the past 3,000 years have built models for us to better understand those factors and their relationships. And I will introduce those models to you one by one. In my next video, I'm going to introduce you a fundamental Feng Shui model which originated from the ancient time when China was still fighting the Great Flood. We will discuss the mechanism of that model, see how that model works in our daily life, and how a great company, Apple Computer, will be impacted by this Feng Shui model which happened to present around its headquarters. See you in the next video.